Welcome back to the Power and the Glory. Today's scripture is taken from the book of Proverbs chapter 3 verses 7 to 8. Before I read the scripture, however, please like, share and subscribe. It does make a huge difference to the Google algorithm, and thank you to my existing subscribers for your ongoing support. I really do appreciate it. So I'll read the scripture now. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil. This will bring health to your body and nourishment to your bones. So this passage of scripture is a call for humility, a faith in God's wisdom and righteous living, leading to a more peaceful, healthy and blessed life, contrasting with the ruin that comes from self-reliance and sin. So let's now have a look at the scripture in more detail, starting off with do not be wise in your own eyes. So don't rely solely on your own intellect, thinking you know everything or ignoring good advice. Now this type of self-reliance often leads to foolishness and trouble. Being wise in your own eyes is foolish precisely because it's a posture driven by pride and a view that you know everything there is to know. Naturally, God hates this kind of attitude. As another scripture states, great sorrow awaits the one who is wise in his own eyes. That's Isaiah chapter 5 verse 21. Because as all-knowing, God sees that while there is a limit to each man's understanding, there's no limit to his foolishness. Now, it's only a matter of time before the prideful person who is wise in his own eyes experiences destruction or falls into God's judgment. Now, we can see this clearly with the example of King Nebuchadnezzar, who boasted of his single-handed construction of Babylon and within the next moment, seemingly, was humbled by God, where he lost his senses all of a sudden and started eating grass like an ox. The king only started to recover when he accepted and acknowledged that the Most High is sovereign over all kingdoms on earth and gives them to anyone he wishes. So the advice here is to lean on God and his understanding because he sees all and knows all. So how do you then access God's understanding and his wisdom? It all starts with developing a healthy fear of God and being in total alignment with him. So what do we mean by fear of God? Well, it primarily means deep reverence, awe and respect for God, acknowledging his power, holiness and authority rather than simple terror. As we know from Proverbs chapter 9 verse 10, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of understanding. So what are its characteristics? Well, first off, reverence and awe, living a good life, recognizing God's sovereign power, glory and holiness. Second, obedience and submission, aligning one's life decisions and actions with God's will, trusting him over oneself. Third, hatred of evil, taking sin seriously and having God's attitude towards it, leading to a desire to overcome it. Now, it's not terror, it's not about being paralyzed by panic, but a deep, profound, respectful awe for God. And finally, in the scripture, it will be healing to your flesh and refreshment to your bones. So this promise signifies a state of well-being encompassing physical health, peace of mind, and spiritual vitality that comes from aligning in God's will. So the resulting life that you experience is a life aligned with God's wisdom, which leads to a well-nourished, strong, and purposeful existence, free from the destructive patterns of sin